For 18 years, I stayed awake at night so she could sleep. For 18 years, I wiped every tear with these hands. For 18 years, I said, "Mama's here, baby." And on her graduation day, she stood there in that white dress, looked at me and said, "You're not my real mom. I'm moving in with my real mother." My sister, the one who left me alone 18 years ago, the one who dropped her baby on my doorstep and disappeared, she's back now. And my daughter, my girl, is leaving with her. But what she didn't know, there was an old secret that could change everything. Sit with me for a minute, baby. Let me tell you something about love. Real love. The kind that don't come with a certificate or a bloodline. The kind that shows up at 3 in the morning when a baby's crying and won't stop. The kind that stays. My name is Eve. I'm 58 years old now. And this story, honey, this story still sits heavy on my chest some nights. It started 18 years ago. March 14th. I remember because it was raining that night. Cold, heavy rain. The kind that feels like the sky's crying with you. I was 40 years old, single, working double shifts at the hospital as a nurse. Tired down to my bones. I came home that night around 11 p.m., and there she was. A basket on my doorstep. Inside that basket, a baby. Couldn't have been more than 3 weeks old, wrapped in a dirty pink blanket, shivering, crying soft little cries like she'd already given up on anyone hearing her. And pinned to that blanket, a note, scribbled on the back of a gas station receipt. "Eve, I can't do this. She's yours now. Don't look for me. Diane." Diane, my sister. My baby sister. Listen, baby, I need you to understand something. Diane wasn't a bad person. She was just lost. She'd been fighting demons since she was 16. Pills first, then harder stuff. Meth, heroin. In and out of rehab. In and out of jail. Mama died trying to save her. Daddy gave up and moved to Florida. Said he couldn't watch her destroy herself no more. And me? I stayed. I always stayed. But that night, when I picked up that baby and felt her cold little body shaking against mine, something broke inside me. And something else, something fiercer, woke up. I brought her inside, warmed her up, fed her with a bottle I had to run to the 24-hour store to buy, held her against my chest until she stopped crying, and I named her Amara. It means eternal, because that's what I promised her that night. I would love her eternally. Honey, let me tell you something about raising a child that ate yours by blood. Every single day, somebody got something to say. At the grocery store, "Oh, she don't look like you." At the school, "So you're the aunt?" At church, "Bless your heart for taking her in." Taking her in. Like she was a stray. Like she wasn't mine. But Amara, she never felt that way. To her, I was Mama. Just Mama. Her first were Mama. Her first steps? Into my arms. First day of kindergarten? She cried and held onto my neck and said, "Don't leave me, Mama." And I said, "Baby, Mama ain't going nowhere." I meant it. The years went by. We had our little life. Small apartment, not much money. But we had each other. I worked nights so I could be there for her during the day. I went to every parent-teacher meeting, every school play, every dance recital. I braided her hair every Sunday night while we watched movies. I taught her how to cook, how to pray, how to stand up for herself. She had questions sometimes about her mama, about Diane. "Where is she?" she'd ask when she was little. "She's sick, baby," I'd tell her, "but she loves you. She just can't be here right now." It was the truth. Part of it anyway. As she got older, the questions got harder. Why did she leave me? Did she not want me? Am I the reason she's sick? Baby, those questions would tear me apart. But I'd hold her face in my hands and say, "Listen to me. You are wanted. You are loved. and none of this is your fault. You hear me?" She'd nod, but I could see the doubt in her eyes, the wondering, the wound that wouldn't heal. And she was smart, baby. So smart. Honor roll every year, student council, debate team. She wanted to be a lawyer, said she wanted to help people who couldn't help themselves. That's my girl, I'd think. That's my baby. She got into college with a full scholarship. My baby, my Amara. I was so proud I could burst. Graduation day was supposed to be the happiest day of our lives. I bought a new dress, navy blue with little flowers. Did my hair at the salon. I wanted to look nice for my baby's big day. I sat in those bleachers with the other parents, watched her walk across that stage in her white cap and gown. When they called her name, Amara Jean Mitchell, I stood up and screamed so loud people turned around. I didn't care. That was my daughter. After the ceremony, we took pictures. So many pictures. She was glowing, smiling so big. We were supposed to go to dinner. I had reservations at her favorite restaurant. But then, she got quiet. Real quiet. We were standing by my car. She was still in her cap and gown. And she looked at me with these eyes. These eyes I'd looked into for 18 years. And they were different. Distant. "Mama," she said, "we need to talk." Now, baby, when somebody says that, you know something bad is coming. I said, "What's wrong, sweetheart?" She took a breath, a deep one. "I've been talking to my real mother." Real mother. Those words hit me like a truck. I just stood there. Couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. She kept going. She reached out to me on Facebook 6 months ago. "We've been talking. She's changed, Mama. She's been clean for 2 years. She got out of prison last year. She's got a job, an apartment, and she wants me back." I finally found my voice. "Wants you back? She wants to be my mom again," Amara said. And honey, there were tears in her eyes. But they weren't sad tears. They were hopeful. She said she's ready now. She said she's sorry for everything. And I want to give her a chance. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would break through my chest. "Baby," I said, and my voice was shaking. "I am your mama. I raised you. I was there for every midnight fever, every scraped knee, every heartbreak. You're not my real mom," she said. Just like that. Cold. Final. "You're my aunt. And I love you. I do, but she's my mother, my real mother. And I need to know her. I'm moving in with her next week." The world tilted. Everything went blurry. "Next week?" I whispered. She nodded. "She lives in Atlanta now. I'm going to stay with her for the summer. Maybe longer. I need this, Mama. I need to know where I come from." I wanted to scream. I wanted to grab her and hold her and tell her, "No, you can't go. You're mine. I raised you. I loved you. I gave you everything." But instead, I just stood there and watched my whole world crack open. You know what hurts the most? It ain't the words she said. It ain't even that she left. It's that she looked relieved. Like she'd been carrying this weight for years and finally put it down. Like I was the weight. The next week was a blur. She packed her things. Not everything. Just clothes. Her laptop, some books. Said she'd come back for the rest later. Diane came to pick her up. Pulled up in a decent car. Looked healthy. Clean. Hair done. Makeup on. Smiling. She got out of the car and looked at me for the first time in 18 years. "Eve," she said, like we were old friends, like she hadn't abandoned her baby on my doorstep and disappeared. I didn't say nothing, just crossed my arms. She smiled, nervous. "Thank you for, taking care of her." Taking care of her, like I was a babysitter. Amara came out with her bags. Diane helped her load them in the trunk. "You ready, baby?" Diane asked. And Amara said, "Yeah." They drove away. I stood on that porch and watched the car disappear down the street. Then I went inside, sat on the couch, and cried until I couldn't cry no more. Listen, baby, the next few months were the darkest of my life. I'd wake up and forget she was gone. I'd make 2 plates for breakfast. I'd hear a noise and think it was her coming home. But the house stayed empty. She called sometimes, texted, said she was doing good, said Diane was being great, said Atlanta was nice, sent pictures of them together, smiling, hugging, shopping, at restaurants. She didn't ask how I was, and I didn't tell her. I didn't tell her that I couldn't sleep, that I'd sit in her room and just stare at her things. That I felt like somebody had cut out a piece of my heart and I was just walking around bleeding. Because that's what mothers do. We protect our children, even when they hurt us. I went to work, came home, ate alone, slept alone, woke up alone. My coworkers noticed. "You okay, Eve?" they'd ask. "I'm fine," I'd say. But I wasn't fine. I was drowning. Then one night, 3 months after she left, I got a call. 2:47 a.m. Unknown number. I answered. Half asleep. Heart pounding, because calls at that hour never mean anything good. "Hello? Aunt Eve?" It was Amara. But her voice? Baby, her voice was broken. "Amara, what's wrong? Can you come get me?" I was already putting on my shoes, already grabbing my keys. "Where are you?" She gave me an address. Not Diane's apartment. Somewhere else. A convenience store on the south side of Atlanta. "I'll be there in 4 hours," I said. "You stay put, you hear me? You stay right there." "Yes, ma'am." "And baby?" "Yes, I'm coming. Mama's coming." I heard her sob. Just once. Then she hung up. I drove through the night. Didn't stop. Didn't eat. Didn't even think. Just drove. 4 hours felt like forever. I found her sitting on the curb outside a 24-hour convenience store. Still in her pajamas, barefoot, shivering even though it was August. I pulled up, got out, ran to her. She looked up at me with red, swollen eyes. Her lip was split. There was a bruise on her arm. "Mama," she whispered, and she fell into my arms. We sat in my car. I wrapped her in a blanket I kept in the trunk, gave her some water, let her cry until she was ready to talk. Finally, she did. "She's using again," Amara said. Her voice was flat, empty. "Diane, she's been using the whole time. She just hid it at first, but last week it got bad, real bad. She brought people over, scary people. They were doing drugs right there in the living room. And tonight, one of them, one of her friends, he tried to." She couldn't finish. "Didn't need to. I felt rage. Pure rage. The kind that makes your vision go red." "Did he hurt you?" I asked, my voice deadly calm. "I got away," she said. "I screamed and I ran. And when I looked back, she was just standing there. Diane. She didn't even try to stop him. She just watched." Amara looked at me, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry, Mama. I'm so sorry I said those things. I'm sorry I left. I'm sorry I didn't believe you when you tried to tell me." "Hush now," I said. And I pulled her close, held her tight. "You ain't got nothing to be sorry for. You hear me? Nothing. You wanted to know your mama. That's natural. That's human. You ain't done nothing wrong." "But I hurt you," she sobbed. "I said you weren't my real mom. But you are. You're the only real mom I've ever had." I kissed her forehead. "Baby, I know. I've always known." We drove back home that morning. She slept most of the way, head on my shoulder, just like when she was little. When we got home, I ran her a bath, made her favorite breakfast, blueberry pancakes with extra syrup, tucked her into her old bed. Rest now, I said. We'll talk later. She grabbed my hand. Mama? Yes, baby? Thank you for coming. Always, I said. Always. She slept for almost a full day. When she woke up, we sat at the kitchen table, just the two of us. I need to tell you something, I said. Something I should have told you a long time ago. She looked at me, waiting. I took a deep breath. When Diane left you on my doorstep, there was more than just a note. There was also a letter, a longer one, sealed. She told me not to open it unless you ever asked about her. Really asked. Amara's eyes went wide. You have it still? I nodded, got up, went to my bedroom, came back with an old shoebox. Inside, wrapped in tissue paper, was an envelope, yellowed with age. I handed it to her. This is from your mama, your birth mama. She wrote it the day she left you. Amara's hands were shaking as she opened it. Inside was 3 pages, handwritten. Diane's messy scrawl. She read it silently. I watched her face change, confusion, then shock, then something else. When she finished, she looked up at me, eyes wide. Mama, she whispered. Did you know? Know what, baby? Diane's not my biological mother. The words hung in the air. I closed my eyes, let out a breath I'd been holding for 18 years. I know, I said quietly. Amara stared at me. You knew? This whole time? I nodded. The night she left you, she called me. Just once. Told me everything. She was holding you for a friend who died. Overdose. The baby, you, had nowhere to go. Diane was supposed to take you to social services, but she couldn't. She was high, scared. So she brought you to me instead. Why didn't you tell me? Amara asked. Not angry, just confused. Because it didn't matter, I said. You needed a mama. I needed you. That was all that mattered. Amara looked down at the letter again. She says my birth mother's name was Sarah. She was her best friend. And she asked Diane to take care of me if anything happened to her. That's right. And Diane tried. She really tried, but she was too sick, too broken. So she brought me to you. I reached across the table, took her hand. Baby, listen to me. Blood don't make family. Love does. Time does. Showing up does. I showed up for you every single day for 18 years. Not because I had to, but because I wanted to. Because you were mine the moment I held you. Amara squeezed my hand, tears running down her face. I know that now, she said. I know. Honey, let me tell you something. That summer, we healed together. Amara stayed home, went to therapy, worked through her feelings, the abandonment, the identity crisis, the guilt. And me? I learned to forgive. Her, Diane, even myself. Diane went back to rehab. Court-ordered this time. Amara wrote her a letter, not angry, just honest. Said she hoped she'd get better. Said she forgave her. But she didn't need her anymore. She already had a mother. Baby, Amara's 25 now, in law school, top of her class. She still calls me every Sunday, still comes home for holidays, still says, I love you, Mama, before she hangs up. Last Mother's Day, she sent me flowers. The card said, to my real mom, the one who stayed, I love you forever. I put that card on my fridge, still there. And sometimes late at night, when the house is quiet, I think about that rainy night 18 years ago. The basket on my doorstep, the tiny baby inside. And I think that wasn't an ending. That was the beginning of us. So baby, if you take anything from my story, let it be this. Love ain't about biology. It's about choice. Family ain't always blood. Sometimes it's the people who show up when everyone else walks away. And if someone ever tells you you're not their real mama, you hold your head high. Because real is measured in midnight fevers, in braided hair, in graduation days. Real is showing up. Real is staying. And honey, that makes you the realest mama there ever was. Thank you for sitting with me today. I hope my story touched your heart the way it still touches mine. Remember, you are loved, you are worthy, and you are never alone. God bless you, baby. This is Eve, and I'll see you next time.